Israel vows to exact a price after Iran's attack. Georgian politician punches opponent over foreign agent law. Heavy rains cause rare flooding in Dubai. UK to criminalize the creation of intimate deepfake images. Prince William resumes royal duties after Kate's diagnosis. NASA identifies space object that hit Florida home.
Hello, I'm Wade Lee. Thank you for joining us on Funday News. It is Thursday, April 18th, and here are your top stories. Israel has vowed to exact a price from Iran in retaliation for the large-scale aerial assault on the Jewish state this past weekend. While some analysts expect Israel to respond, the timing and extent of the retaliation remains in question. Iran launched more than 300 drones and missiles against military targets inside Israel on Saturday, in what President Joe Biden described as unprecedented. According to Ryan Bohl, senior Middle East and North Africa analyst at risk intelligence platform RAIN Network, right now they certainly are seriously considering direct strike on Iran because that is the clearest path back to deterrence.
Iran has said the attack on Israel was in response to an Israeli strike on its embassy compound in Damascus, Syria, earlier this month. The Islamic regime has accused Israel of the April 1st attack which killed 7 Iranian military personnel, including senior commanders. Iran's envoy to the United Nations cited self-defense for the country's actions. Emir Saeed Iravani, the ambassador of Iran's UN, said, "This action was in the exercise of Iran's inherent right to self-defense as outlined in Article 51 of the Charter of the United Nations, and in response to the Israeli recurring military aggressions, particularly its armed attack on the 1st of April 2024 against Iranian diplomatic premises."
Georgian lawmakers came to blows in Parliament on Monday as ruling party's legislators look set to advance a controversial bill on foreign agents that has been criticized by Western countries and sparked protests at home. Georgian Dream said earlier this month it would reintroduce legislation requiring organizations that accept funds from abroad to register as foreign agents or face fines, 13 months after protests forced it to shelve the plan. The bill has strained relations with European countries and the United States, who have said they oppose its passage. The European Union, which gave Georgia candidate status in December, has said the move is incompatible with the bloc's values.
Footage broadcast on Georgian television showed Mamuka Medinaradze, leader of the ruling Georgian Dream Party's parliamentary faction and a driving force behind the bill, being punched in the face by opposition MP Aleko Elisashvili while speaking from the dispatch box. The incident prompted a wider brawl between several lawmakers, an occasional occurrence in Georgia's often raucous parliament. Footage showed Elisashvili being greeted with cheers by protesters outside the parliament building. Georgian critics have labeled the bill the Russian law, comparing it to similar legislation used by the Kremlin to crack down on dissent in Russia. Russia is widely unpopular in Georgia due to Moscow's support for the breakaway regions of Abkhazia and South Ossetia. Russia defeated Georgia in a short war in 2008.
Heavy rains battered parts of the Middle East on Tuesday, closing schools in the United Arab Emirates and flooding the tarmac at Dubai International Airport. In Oman, at least 18 people have died in recent days because of the severe weather. The storms swamped roadways and created dangerous conditions across the region, a normally arid part of the world unaccustomed to intense rain and flash flooding. On Tuesday, airports officials said in a statement that flights into the Dubai airport were temporarily diverted as a result of the continued exceptional weather event currently being experienced in the UAE.
Video showed floodwaters and support vehicles nearly submerged. More than 4.7 inches of rain fell in a day in the UAE, flooding streets across Dubai and sending water spilling into homes and businesses. The UAE's National Emergency Crisis and Disaster Management Authority urged people to stay home, saying on X that cars should be parked in safe and elevated locations, away from flood-prone areas and places where water can accumulate. The UAE is known for its dry conditions and arid climate, but it can get occasional precipitation in the winter. Other parts of the Middle East, including Qatar and Saudi Arabia, were also hit by unusually wet conditions this week.
The UK will criminalize the creation of sexually explicit deepfake images as part of a plan to tackle violence against women. The Ministry of Justice said in a statement that people convicted of creating such deepfakes without consent, even if they don't intend to share the images, will face prosecution and an unlimited fine under a new law. Sharing the images could also result in jail. Rapid development in artificial intelligence have led to the rise of the creation and dissemination of deepfake images and videos.
The UK has classified violence against women and girls as a national threat, which means the police must prioritize tackling it, and this law is designed to help them clamp down on a practice that is increasingly being used to humiliate or distress victims. Laura Ferris, Minister for Victims and Safeguarding, said in a statement, "This new offense sends a crystal clear message that making this material is immoral, often misogynistic, and a crime." The government is also introducing new criminal offenses for people who take or record real intimate images without consent or install equipment to enable someone to do so. A new statutory aggravating factor will be brought in for offenders who cause death through abusive, degrading, or dangerous sexual behavior.
Britain's Prince William is set to return to official royal duties Thursday for the first time since his wife, Kate, the Princess of Wales, announced she was receiving treatment for cancer. Kensington Palace said in a statement Tuesday that William, the Prince of Wales and heir to the throne, will visit West London and the adjacent country of Surrey to highlight the work of community and environmental impact organizations in the area. They will be William's first public engagement since Kate revealed almost a month ago that she was undergoing chemotherapy for an as yet unspecified form of cancer.
In the weeks before the news became public, William, 41, cancelled several engagements, including a memorial service for his godfather, King Constantine of Greece, as he juggled being with his wife and looking after their children. After Kate's video announcement, the couple missed the Easter Sunday service in Windsor, a high-profile annual royal engagement. William is following in the footsteps of his father, King Charles III, who has long championed environmental and social causes. William was at a soccer match in Birmingham last week, watching his beloved Aston Villa with his son George, in what was the pair's first public appearance since the news of Kate's diagnosis.
A man in Naples, Florida, now has answers, over a month after a space object crashed through the roof of his home. NASA confirmed in a press release that the object was part of the cargo pallet containing aging nickel hydrate battery from the International Space Station. Specifically, NASA said the object was a stanchion from the NASA flight support equipment used to mount the batteries on the cargo pallet. After examination, NASA said it assessed the object it made of the metal alloy Inconel, weighs 1.6 pounds and is 4 inches in height and 1.6 inches in diameter.
The agency said, in March 2021, NASA ground controllers used the International Space Station's robotic arm to release a cargo pallet containing aging nickel hydride batteries from the space station following the delivery and installation of new lithium-ion batteries as part of power upgrades on the orbital outpost. They then noting that the total mass of the hardware released from space station was about 5,800 pounds. NASA said the cargo pallet was expected to fully burn up while entering Earth's atmosphere. Otero said in March 15 post that the apparent space object tore through the roof and went through 2 floors of his home, and that the object almost hit my son. In response to the damage the stanchion did to Otero's home, NASA said in the release, NASA remains committed to responsibly operating in low Earth orbit and mitigating as much risk as possible to protect people on Earth when space hardware must be released.
The answer for yesterday is A, commended. His designs were highly commended by the judges because they were outstanding. Did you answer correctly? Now let's delve into the news of Israel vows to exact a price after Iran's attack. Number 1, retaliation. 报复, 反击. She suffered severe retaliations for writing articles for the newspapers. Number 2, unprecedented. 史无前例的, 空前的, 绝无仅有的. This century has witnessed environmental destruction on an unprecedented scale. Number 3, deterrence, 遏制, 制止. They believed in the principle of nuclear deterrence. Next, we have a multiple choice question for everyone to practice. Which answer would you choose? You can write your answer in the comment section. The correct answer will be announced tomorrow. And that's it for today's Funday news. Be sure to tune in to Funday news from Monday to Friday and click the link below to join Funday for free. I'm Wei Li, your host. I'll see you next time.